It's the American dream, establishing roots, setting up a shop, and opening the door to entrepreneurship. For some, it's a coffee shop.
I guess I was just like buying myself a job. I'm getting older and this will probably be my last job.
For others, it's venturing out to a smaller community.
So we've just kind of realized that the only thing that constant is change, and we just kind of work through that.
Or it's getting in on the business of redeveloping a downtown.
We thought the downtown St. Joe's going to be coming back a lot more, Now we're just looking for something simple, something that I like to do my whole life.
But are the startup hassles worth it? The owners of one of the success stories in St. Joseph, the Lucky Tiger, thinks so.
I thought it was really easy. People will complain about, there's a couple of hoops you have to jump through. Compared to how it is everywhere else, it's very inexpensive and doesn't really take that much time.
There are things to consider that will come up. St. Joseph's building inspector Randy Simpson is one of the first faces you'll meet at your door. In his experience that spans over 2 decades, the man with the clipboard realizes he's not always the popular guy.
Mostly they look at it as a hindrance, but when a code goes into effect, it's because somebody died.
Amy can understand that risk since her inspection.
There was a privy that was open.
It's a cistern.
A cistern that was open in the basement. It was and so they had us cover it because if there's a firefighter that has to come in there and they didn't know that was there, they would just fall into it and it could hurt them.
The city and the fire inspectors are looking for safety issues. For Terry and her new business, Retro Vibes, a back door will need to open to the out, and the furnace area will need to be cleared. And when things come up, they have to be addressed before any license is issued, and that can be costly. Amy knows that all too well.
Think about what you need and probably go for double that.
Nancy Good found out, however, that some of the requests may not be necessary. She spent the time creating a floor plan to scale, and when she showed it to them,
Went to all this trouble to get that done, and then I showed it to them and they go, you didn't really need to do all of that.
According to numbers from City Hall, growth of new business is on the rise. In 2013, some 390 business licenses were purchased, and that number rose sharply in 2014. But it's a number that could be deceiving.
We have a lot of them that come in and say they're opening a second business because they need the extra income. Small contractors, cleaning companies. Some people come up with some odd businesses, but generally we hear them say that they're just trying to come up with some extra income because things are tight.
So you get an inspection and you do the repairs to bring things up to code, but then there's the paperwork and the fees. How much, you ask? Well, it really depends on your business. Some retail licenses start at $10 to $25 the first year and then go to gross sales receipts the following years. Now, according to City Hall workers, those fees are based on codes written back in the 1940s. And considering this bottle of pop only cost a nickel back then, it's safe to assume the expense is pretty minimal. So why haven't the fees risen with inflation? According to Sandy Brooks,
It is a tax. To change that, it would have to be changed by the voters.
there will be roadblocks.
What we'll have you do is put in the emergency light will need a new battery.
Reopening the Pony Expresso after a fire in the adjoining Missouri Theater meant upgrades. Nancy had to replace electrical wiring. The city who owns the building replaced the north side of the building.
But I was responsible, I found out, for all the wiring and light fixtures and outlets on the south side.
When you have a building that may be 20 plus years old, there's existing codes from way back. And I think that the city officials and our architect got together and just solved the problem.
The problem being last fall when the city realized they had overlooked that the business had not included a sprinkler system in their plans. During the inspection and re-inspection, the city knows that every day a business isn't open is costing someone money.
It was very fast. We opened a little bit later than what we wanted to because of the construction, but they made it their priority to get us open as soon as they could.
It was a little scary, but everybody at City Hall was just really supportive and seemed to be excited that there was a woman starting a new business and really wanted me to succeed.
So what advice would these entrepreneurs give?
You're not going to have perfect to begin with, especially if you don't have a very big budget. So just get the doors open, get people in there, and then you can slowly upgrade.
I've not been in one that couldn't be fixed.